So we learned that epistasis is one example of polygenic inheritance. However, another example of polygenic inheritance is the additive effect. So in the additive effect, two or more genes all play into one specific phenotype in an individual. And actually, we see many different traits in humans that work by this polygenic additive effect inheritance pattern. And usually we'll see this when we have a wide variety of different phenotypes in a population. So examples of that could be height in human beings, it could be eye color, but one of the more prominent ones is skin color. So there's many different types of skin color in human populations that range from the very, very lightest skin coloration that we can see right here, where someone is completely homozygous recessive for all three genes, or it could go to the richest, darkest colors down here, where someone has dominant alleles for every single of those alleles in those three genes. So skin color is determined here by three genes. So we have the A gene, the B gene, and the C gene. And notice that it is not just whether or not you are dominant or recessive, but each time you receive one dominant allele, that adds to the pigmentation of skin color. And that's where we see the wide variety of skin pigmentations. So let's look at some of these things that these genes control. So one gene controls the type of melanin that is produced. So there's pheomelanin, and then there's eumelanin. Pheomelanin is a lighter color than eumelanin. So that's one gene that just controls the type of pigmentation in that melanin, whether it is a pheomelanin or a eumelanin. And then that would be gene 1. So that would be like gene A. Another gene, gene 2, which would be gene B right here, that would be the amount of melanin, or the concentration of melanin that is produced. And then our third and final gene here is gene C, and that is the number of melanosomes. So how many cells do you have that produce melanin? So we have three things that contribute to how much pigmentation is in skin. The type of pigmentation that you produce, do you make pheomelanin or eumelanin? How much of that melanin is produced? And then the number of actual cells, those melanosomes that make that melanin. The final thing that we know that contributes to skin pigmentation is the environment. So we're going to look back at skin pigmentation when we talk about human evolution, and we're going to learn about the evolution of different skin pigmentations and skin colorations in human beings. But notice how we can see all of this melanin kind of acting like an umbrella over the nucleus. What that does is UV light can definitely damage DNA, and these melanin molecules, they protect the nucleus because DNA is in the nucleus. So what will happen is the more skin is exposed to UV light, the more melanin is transported above the nucleus in our skin cells. And most people, when they go out in the sun, they will deepen their skin coloration that we call tanning, and that just means that there's more melanin that is protecting the nucleus from that UV radiation. So lots of things contribute to skin coloration. We have three different genes that all have an additive effect, and then we also know that the environment affects the skin pigmentation as well.